Good evening and welcome. You're watching the 7 p.m. news here on CNC3. I'm Ryan Beachu.
I'm Bhavita Gopalchan.
I am Jassi Maruk with sport.
And I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your weather report.
Let's tell you what's making the news tonight. No freedom for businessman Dominic Hadid and his wife. The High Court delivers a major ruling in their challenge to state of emergency detention.
The police commissioner says citizens are free to legally challenge any detention, but hopes the public will recognize there are no sacred cows.
Concerns over Milat closure as teacher contracts come to an end. Defense Minister confirms program has been temporarily suspended.
Coming up in sport.
Through the onside for 4, indeed it is.
West Indies women lose by 7 wickets as Australia reaches an 8th Women's T20 World Cup final.
Brighter skies are on the way as the tropical wave begins to lose its grip on the islands. Details on this and more in the full forecast.
Businessman Dominic Hadid and his wife Genevieve will remain behind bars after failing in their bid to secure release while they challenge their detention over an alleged assassination plot of public officials.
That's right. Justice Frank Sipasad dismissed a habeas corpus application today that sought to force police to justify the couple's continued detention under state of emergency regulations. Now, while the judge granted them leave to pursue a judicial review of the preventive detention orders signed by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, he declined to order their conditional release. Justice Sipasad ruled the PDOs were lawful and said greater harm could result if the couple were freed and the intelligence linking them to the alleged plot proved credible. He noted they could be compensated if their challenge succeeds, while the couple will remain in prison facilities while the state of emergency continues through mid-September unless they win an appeal. In response, Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara praised the outcome.
The courts are available to all citizens to challenge any action taken by the police. And in this particular case, such a challenge was pursued and judicially determined.
The police commissioner also maintained that the TTPS does not discriminate against citizens in executing its duties.
The TTPS will treat all persons equally without fear or favor. As the proverbial saying reminds us, big gooty, small gooty, same shot.
He noted that the probe into the allegations against a couple is still being actively pursued.
Meanwhile, we understand businessman Dominic Hadid and his wife Genevieve have strengthened their legal team by adding 2 senior United Kingdom barristers to their team. Orders published today allow Sir James Eadie and Robert Strang to appear in the Hadid's lawsuit against the Commissioner of Police.
The move comes hours just after Justice Frank Sipasad refused their bid for release, while their judicial review challenge continues.
Meanwhile, PNM Deputy Leader Sanjeev Boodoo says while he respects the High Court's ruling, he maintains the case raises broader concerns about what he describes as the government's abuse of executive detention powers. Boodoo told CNC3 News his criticism is not directed at the Hadid's case specifically, but at what he believes is the growing use of preventive detention orders to hold citizens without charge for extended periods. Boodoo claims the government should be held accountable for what he says are hundreds of detentions carried out without criminal charges being laid, and questioned whether the public is comfortable with a system that allows a minister to sign a single document authorizing a person's detention. He also challenged the government to explain why it is relying on executive detention powers instead of allowing the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to investigate, arrest and prosecute suspects through the normal criminal justice system.
And former Police Commissioner Gary Griffith is calling for changes to Trinidad and Tobago's preventive detention order process. Griffith says the law should require the Commissioner of Police to certify intelligence before anyone can be detained. Griffith explains that his concern is not with the current government, but with what he described as weaknesses in the law that could be abused by future administrations. Now, he argued that intelligence used to justify detentions should be independently verified by the Police Commissioner rather than relying solely on information presented to the Homeland Security Minister. Griffith is proposing that only the Commissioner of Police should be able to formally recommend a PDO after determining there is a genuine as well as immediate threat to national security or public safety.
The president of the Confederation of Regional Business Chambers says the use of preventive detention orders is now under intense public scrutiny following the detention of businessman Dominic Hadid, his wife Genevieve, and their relative Star Sabga. Vivek Charan told CNC3's The Morning Brew that the business community supported the orders when they were used to target suspected gang members and disrupt violent crime. But he said the recent detentions have raised broader questions about how the powers are being applied.
You know, the whole idea of a business person being held for the conspiracy to commit murder against the government or, government officials and things is one that in a sense boggles the mind. It is quite shocking. That, however, when you listen to Roger Alexander has maintained that this is not politically motivated, that we should wait and let it run its course. And at the end of the day, that is all that we can do. Like I said, the important takeaway from this is that it brings the preventive detention orders, the PDO of the SOE, now under scrutiny.
Charan says it is too early to suggest the detentions will drive businesses out of Trinidad and Tobago, noting that relocating a successful company is far more complicated than many people realize.
Well, in light of those concerns, today we asked if you are comfortable with the manner in which preventive detention orders are being issued.
This is what you had to tell us.
I think it's a waste of time at this point in time. Yeah.
You don't see it doing much of a difference?
No. Same old.
I think it's doing good in a sense, but they had to come good with reasons behind, proper grounded reasons or evidence behind the arrest and stuff like that.
You can't arrest someone and have them waiting so long without giving them a charge what is they arresting them for, and you just have them in there and just getting sick.
No, don't agree with that. Taking away the rights of the citizens. Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, so far, because when you read the media, most of the arrests and things is suspected criminal activities and things. So, yeah.
Nah, I'm not happy with that at all. Why not? They're taking advantage of the situation. That's why I'm happy with it, so I'll tell you everything.
Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. NGC fires back at Methanex, insisting gas was never the problem. The state company says a pricing dispute, not a supply shortage, forced the Titan plant's shutdown.
They leave us like stray dogs. Who eat, who fight, who die. Die how it is.
In part 2 of Behind Gang Culture, the Lavendale story, residents say gang culture does not flourish in a vacuum, but where neglect takes root.
Later on in sport, Brenton Budu and Jaina Mohammed celebrated as the best secondary school cricketers in the land.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Defense Minister Wayne Stage tonight confirms that the military-led academic training program has been temporarily suspended. This after serious concerns were raised today that the social intervention initiative is to be scrapped.
Well, moments ago, Stage told CNC3 News that while the program has not been shut down, it is temporarily suspended for financial reasons. Stage said his ministry is in ongoing discussions with the Defense Force Reserves and the Ministry of Education to restructure the program as it is no longer economically viable. CNC3 News was informed earlier that teachers attached to the MILAT program were verbally told that yesterday their 3-month contracts will not be renewed. Furthermore, a former technical advisor said he was informed that more than 100 Level 1 trainees who are preparing to sit their CSEC exams have been sent home. The advisor raised concerns that many of the young men will be forced back into the environment and circumstances that led them to seek refuge in MILAT in the first place. Meanwhile, Foster Cummings, who once oversaw the program, is pleading with the government to not shut it down, as he said it was a long-term solution to the root causes of crime.
We know that particularly in some of these urban areas, a lot of the young men who fall in the category of NEET, they're not employed, they're not in any formal education or training program, left idle in communities, become, easy targets for recruitment by gangs and people involved in criminal activity. And therefore, programs such as MILAT is to assist them to take them out of that situation as a residential program, train them and equip them so that they can enter the place of work.
But Minister Surge said it is his hope to restructure the program in the shortest possible time to facilitate the remaining Form 4 cohort.
The minister said the narrative that the closure will lead to an increase in crime is a trademark PNM scare tactic. Sturge said the program has been in place for some time now and the murder rate has not decreased. Last night, we showed you the human cost of gang violence in one Laventille community.
Tonight, in part 2 of our series Behind Gang Culture, the Laventille Story, Doris Polo and Timothy Shasto traveled to another part of the hills, where residents say years of neglect have left many young people vulnerable to gang recruitment.
They leave us like stray dogs. Who eat, who fight, who die how it is.
Marcano Quarry Lands, known to residents simply as Canada, sits just minutes from Port of Spain. But despite its proximity to the capital, many here say they have spent years feeling forgotten. Residents say nearly 2 decades later, parts of the compound remain scarred by that disaster.
Walking through Canada housing, the decay is impossible to ignore. Collapsed roofs, crumbling buildings, bullet holes in the walls, even dead animals in abandoned apartments. Residents say this neglect is exactly why some young people turn to gangs. They told me when people are treated like trash, they begin treating others the same. As one resident put it, stray dogs bite, and they're not biting their own.
If you're not doing the right thing, what do you expect we who live in the depressed communities to do? If you're not doing your job to uplift us, what we will do, not try to uplift ourselves by any means possible.
He says after close to 20 years of promises, many residents have stopped believing meaningful change will come.
We are not being promised yesterday or today's 18 years of promises. Keep paying your rent as when it's time you have nothing to get. And you're paying your rent to live like a rat.
The frustration runs deeper than the building's foundations. Residents say when governments fail to invest in communities, some people begin looking elsewhere for opportunity, belonging, and survival.
Because if we are being persecuted and looked down at, what we will do, not act the way all they want us to act. If you treat us a certain way, when we act that way, if you treat us as human beings, we will act as human beings. But if you treat us as animals, we will act as animals. And when wild animals are not being seen, what they do, they bite. And when we bite, everybody does feel it in the country. Because we biting we own and we going out and bite who have and living nice.
The same frustration surfaced in St. Barb's, where another resident described the stigma attached to growing up in Laventille.
There's whole back people in the think about going out to go and find out what the things that people go and tell them. And that has break plenty of the youth men's spirit. Because you don't want to go out there and somebody tell them, oh, you from so-and-so, now you can't walk here, or there's so-and-so, you cut your hair looking too nutty and all. Because breaking somebody's spirit, when you break somebody's spirit, they have no hope. Some people might not have no mother, some people might not have father, some people might not have food in the place, some people might not have clothes upon the back. They might have that one person in the community. He might instead be a gang member. He might be an ex-police, he might be an ex-soldier, he might know we could get a resource from to help the community, so people will look up to him and they rather guard he. Because he feeding them, the government and feeding them, he feeding them. So long as he feed them, the community will watch you back, take care of everything, clean your car, wash your clothes, because you feeding me.
Residents here are not trying to justify gang violence. They are asking how and why communities can spend decades waiting for basic improvements while criminal groups fill the spaces left behind. Tomorrow.
When I look at my community, look at the condition of my community.
How do many young residents occupy their time? And what happens when someone decides to walk away? Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
A very interesting feature from Doris.
Looking forward to the wrap tomorrow.
Of course, yes. Well, to some news of business now. The national gas company says gas supply was never the issue in negotiations with Methanex, as the decision to idle its Titan plant continues to spark debate over the future of this country's energy sector.
Andrea Perez-Sobers has more in tonight's Business Watch.
The national gas company is defending its negotiations with Methanex following the company's decision to indefinitely idle its Titan methanol plant come October. In a statement on Tuesday, NGC said it remains committed to the long-term sustainability and competitiveness of Trinidad and Tobago's petrochemical sector and engaged with Methanex in good faith to reach a commercially viable agreement. The company stressed that gas supply volumes were not the issue during negotiations, saying it offered Methanex the same contracted gas volumes under the expiring agreement and was even willing to consider additional volumes if required. NGC said Methanex indicated that the principal issue was the commercial pricing agreement. The announcement has nevertheless renewed concerns over the wider energy sector. Energy specialist Gregory Maguire estimates the combined shutdowns of Atlas, Titan, and Nutrient plants could remove between US $500 million and $700 million in annual foreign exchange earnings from the economy, while reducing government revenue and weakening investor confidence. Meanwhile, speaking to CNC3 Business Watch on the sidelines of AmCham TNT's annual Tech Hub Islands Summit, Chief Executive Officer Nirad Tiwari says the country must carefully balance government revenue needs with the need to keep businesses globally competitive while gas supplies remain constrained.
Because we're not just looking at Trinidad and Tobago, right? Businesses are operating globally and they're looking at options all the time from where they will get the most gains, and at some point they have hard decisions to make.
Former Energy Minister Stuart Young blamed the shutdown on the government's handling of negotiations, saying the Titan closure does not augur well for TNT and cannot be viewed in isolation.
However, if these petrochemical plants continue to shut down and close up operations, not only is it a loss of jobs of the workers there, it is a loss of jobs in the ecosystem. All those who supply, all the subcontractors, all the people who do janitorial service, security service, provide food.
Meanwhile, energy expert Carolyn C. Prasad-Becher notes the Titan shutdown highlights the urgency of securing reliable gas supplies while preserving the country's downstream energy sector.
It's the signal this sends to international investors. Methanex has been one of our flagship investors, leading the way in energy efficiency and emissions reduction.
And now for a look at today's energy and foreign exchange prices. Andrea Perez-Soba's CNC3 Business Watch.
Meanwhile, Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal says government has taken note of Metanax's decision to idle its Titan operations in TNT. Dr. Munilal acknowledged that the move follows prolonged discussions with the NGC over gas pricing and allocation. According to him, the company will preserve the plant in a restart-ready condition as part of a global review of its operations and commercial viability. He adds government will continue engagement with Metanax and other stakeholders as it seeks to strengthen gas supply conditions.
Regrettably, we are at a stage where there could be no agreement at this time, but I'm very confident that as we go forward, the decision of Metanax to preserve and idle their plant keeps the door open for a restart-ready situation where they may be able to restart in a short term.
Now, Dr. Munilal noted that there are several projects ongoing that will increase gas supply and production, which will impact negotiation with downstream operation, including Metanax.
Meanwhile, a planned government delegation to Venezuela for energy talks is expected to be delayed following the recent earthquakes in that country. The energy minister says preparations for the visit remain under review as officials assess the situation in Venezuela, extending condolences over the nearly 2,000 deaths reported thus far. Dr. Munilal says TNT continues to engage Venezuela on energy arrangements involving the national gas company and Shell, but says any decisions remain subject to due diligence and government approval. The minister adds that diplomatic engagement continues through established channels with ongoing regional energy discussions, including Guyana.
Heritage Petroleum says sabotage is to blame for a hydrocarbon leak discovered yesterday along GT Road in Barkpore.
The company reports that about 6 feet of pipeline had been detached, triggering what is believed to be a deliberate act. Heritage, in a statement this afternoon, said it immediately activated its incident command system, deploying vacuum trucks, heavy machinery, and containment booms to recover spilled oil and protect a nearby watercourse. Officials say they are engaging with residents and will conduct air quality testing as a precaution. Energy Minister Dr. Rudal Munilal believes the incident may point to something more coordinated targeting national infrastructure. The Energy Minister and security arrangements across energy facilities would have to be reviewed and strengthened.
Well, still to come in the news. After a lengthy verbal battle, released funds on its way to the Port of Spain City Corporation, workers take a wait-and-see approach.
After the break, the return of Saharan dust to the islands and more in the weather.
Okay, let me see you Cherry Hill. Yeah, now take it back. Let me see you rock off, shake off. Let me see you rock off. Let me see you kick right. Now step forward, now step back.
Lucozade, bring the energy. Unbeatable taste, new look.
Shake off. Let me see you rock off.
Welcome to a new era of driving in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me introduce to you Omoda and Jaco, two global automotive brands, redefining style, technology, and performance. This is just the beginning.
Discover your favorite treat with Casey Candy Gummies. Sweet or sour, dive into a wave of fun shapes and flavors. Our halal gummies are made with fruit juices, and every bite is packed with fun, chewiness, and pure deliciousness. Perfect for an everyday snack, birthday parties, or lunch boxes. Make your snack time irresistible. And enjoy your day with Casey Gummies.
Panadol's new formula, 5 times faster than other paracetamol brands. There's no time to waste during special moments. When I need fast pain relief, I choose Panadol Rapid. With its new formula and exclusive technology, it's 5 times faster than other paracetamol, giving me effective pain relief. And it's also gentle on my stomach. Because my greatest gift is giving them special moments.
Welcome back. Port of Spain Mayor Chinua Elaine says the Ministry of Rural Development and Local Government has finally approved the transfer of funds needed to cover June's salaries for monthly paid City Corporation employees. But he warns that workers remain unpaid until the Ministry of Finance completes the transfer process. He stressed that the approval applies only to June, with no confirmed allocations yet for July, August or September. A total of over $5 million was dispatched to the City Corporation.
This correspondence from the Ministry of Local Government that indicates that they have approved our submission requesting that funds be transferred into our budget. But it doesn't stop there. The Ministry of Local Government cannot transfer its own funds. Only the Ministry of Finance can do that. The Ministry of Local Government is only now prepared to apply to the Ministry of Finance for funds to be transferred from their budget into our budget. But this only covers the month of June. There are no provisions as yet made for the months of July, August, or September.
He said subsequent salary increases and higher NIS contribution rates implemented in January were also not reflected in the original budget allocations. Asked about statements from the corporation's line minister suggesting the corporation had failed to submit the required information in time, Elaine strongly disagreed.
I think that the Honorable Lady is practicing an economy with the truth. That statement is untrue. I have just shown you all of the documents that we have submitted. I've gone through a chronology of events, beginning with the Council's approval of the draft estimates on the 6th of March and our submission to the Ministry.
Minister of Rural Development and Local Government Khadija Amin says delayed salaries of monthly paid workers at the Port of Spain City Corporation resulted from the corporation's failure to submit required financial documents on time.
Amin said ministry officials worked throughout the weekend to correct errors in the late submissions and forward the completed file to the Finance Ministry. She said the check was expected to be released by the end of Tuesday, allowing affected workers to receive their salaries. Well, we know more about the surface of the moon than we know about the depths of our own waters, right?
That is now the focus of a groundbreaking scientific expedition led by Trinidad and Tobago researchers across some of the country's deepest and least understood marine ecosystems.
Before the research vessel set sail, Sigoni Mohammed was given a tour on board.
It is dark, cold, and under pressures strong enough to crush most submersibles. Yet thousands of meters below Trinidad and Tobago's waters lies the country's largest ecosystem, one that scientists have only just begun to explore.
Behind me is the research vessel, the Falcor 2, which will be undertaking a groundbreaking mission in the deep ocean of Trinidad and Tobago's waters. Now, scientists say that this is a marine territory that has never been explored before. So over the next month, they will be searching for new species, mapping the ocean floor, and probably answering some of the questions that have yet to be answered regarding the deep ocean of Trinidad and Tobago.
When we visited the Falcor 2 at Tembladora in Chagaramas just before it set sail, scientists were making their final preparations. Today, the expedition is underway, with researchers exploring deep waters off Tobago's coasts in search of new species, fragile ecosystems, and answers about a part of the country few people have ever seen.
There is so much that Trinbagonians do not know about this amazing ecosystem that is the majority of our country. Trinidad and Tobago is 70% deep sea, and actually more than 93% of that is below scuba depths. And that means we have not been able to access that from a scientific perspective. There is so much left to discover.
between cruises, and then we just go out. And
the team will explore from 60 meters below the surface to depths of about 4,500 meters using remotely operated vehicles, autonomous underwater robots, and high-resolution mapping technology. They hope to document life and landscapes never before recorded in our waters.
One of the biggest misconceptions about the deep sea, I think, is that it is empty, lifeless, right? This is a place that is very difficult to live in, and so there's not a lot of animals and life down there. And that could not be further from the truth. This is an incredible place, home to hundreds of thousands of species globally.
The research is about more than discovery. Scientists say the deep ocean helps regulate the climate, stores carbon, and supports the marine ecosystems that many fisheries depend on. Understanding what lies beneath the surface could help guide how these waters are managed in the future.
So I think what is very important for us to understand is that our ocean, our global interconnected ocean, is really very important in providing us with key services that help us with climate regulation, for instance. And if we impact our ocean negatively, then we lose some of those very important services. And so the next couple of years could look very different for us if we don't take action now.
The expedition will also train the next generation of Caribbean marine scientists while live streaming its discoveries so people around the world can follow the mission as it happens. For Chief Scientist Dr. Diva Amon, the voyage represents something even bigger.
Instead of there being a British team on board with one scientist, we have a primarily Trinidadian, Trinbagonian team on board. And we are leading the science, and now I am in a leadership position. And so it really feels very, very full circle, and I hope this will be a dream come true and a very special moment.
The expedition continues until July 28th, with each dive offering the chance to reveal new life, new habitats, and a deeper understanding of our largest and least explored ecosystem. Sigoni Mohammed, CNC3 News.
Sigoni, what an exciting expedition. What's under the deep blue sea? I know they've made some discoveries already.
And not just any deep blue sea, our deep blue sea. Trinidad and Tobago's waters, they're just off Tobago right now, and the live stream is going. Take a look at this. These are 3 bits of what they found, what they discovered today, and it is amazing, from an urchin to a sea star to an eel-like fish. Do not ask me to pronounce the names, but each dive will reveal just how rich and fascinating our deep ocean is right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And you can follow them live as well, and you can follow us right here on CNC3, because we'll be bringing you up-to-date coverage as to what's going on in the waters just off Trinidad and Tobago, and it is amazing. But will they have really good weather to do these dives? And the answer is, well, yes, they will. Today we had a little bit of moisture, and that was from a lingering tropical wave into the rest of this evening. We're seeing some clearing in the forecast, and with it, an introduction of dust haze in a big amount. I'll show you shortly, but right now we're looking out for pleasant conditions as we push through this evening's outlook. Clear to partly cloudy skies, a little bit on the warm side. For those of you in Tobago, you won't be pulling the covers, trust me on that one, because of those temperatures into this evening's forecast, but we could still see a quick passing shower as the evening goes on. Into tomorrow, though, not a lot to talk about. A high pressure system is going to put itself in place, and that means fair and dry conditions for the most part in the region, but we have so much Saharan dust at play, and that means that we're in for dull, dusty, gloomy conditions. Have your relievers and inhalers on hand, because we've got a moderate to high concentration of dust just moving into Trinidad and Tobago at this time overnight into tomorrow, and that also translates to hot, steamy conditions for us, with the possibility of an odd shower because of daytime heating. So look out for some afternoon showery spells, a gentle breeze, but not a lot to talk about in this forecast. And if that's the kind of conditions that will take you to the beach, well, take note, we do have moderate conditions out there. It's occasionally choppy because our winds are still a little bit on the strong side, so if you're in the nearshore areas, you may just get that slight chop. But if you're in the open waters, look out for winds steady from the east to east-southeast. That's the direction that's going to be holding well into the next 24-hour period. The big player for those of you with a marine interest, though, is that spring tide is still very much in effect, so you need to exercise extra caution when you're out there because of that spring tide event. And before I go, hey, let's take another look at what's happening out there. Don't forget, follow them on YouTube and follow us right here for the latest on what's happening in the deep seas of Trinidad and Tobago's waters.
And by the way, some of that footage that you would have used in your story today, that's actually from today, from this morning.
That's right.
Thanks very much, Sigoni, for that. Keep us abreast of how that expedition is going. Let's tell you what's still to come in the news tonight. Police call for more open communication between parents and children following tragic death of student Idris Hussein.
Ever wonder how the way you start your day can make all the difference? Tired of waking up struggling with congestion? Without Neomed Sinus Rinse, you are likely to battle with nasal congestion, impacting energy levels and overall well-being. The choice is clear. A great morning starts with Neomed Sinus Rinse. Now I can't imagine starting my day without it. All natural sinus relief.
Lucozade, bring the energy.
Unbeatable taste, new look.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
Question: how much does a funeral go for these days? I guarantee the figure you're thinking is way smaller than the actual cost. Because even though life is priceless, death is real expensive. But CUNA Caribbean's Family Indemnity Plan can help for things like sudden funeral costs, plus the other bills left behind that could threaten your finances. And imagine, for a monthly payment of less than $70, you could cover up to 9 family members. And you don't have to take a medical exam to sign up. So don't stick. Get the Family Indemnity Plan. Why? Because it's a good thing. Trust me. CUNA Caribbean Insurance. For all people. Terms and conditions apply.
Score big at Passad's The Food King with our mega month-end deals. Big savings on Ibis all-purpose flour 5 kg, now only $27. Nescafe Instant Coffee Classic 170 grams, now only $60. Lucozade Energy Drink 360 ml, 2 for just $20. Fresh Harvest Soybean Oil 1 gallon, now only $64.99. Cotoneer Bathroom Tissue 24-pack, now only $32. Oba Spaghetti 300 grams, 5 packs, now only $20. Crown Parboiled Rice 8 kg, just $64.99. And Bermuda's Cricks Crackers Original 4 by 9 ounces, now only $55. Don't wait. Shop and score big on your everyday essentials at Passad's The Food King. Offer ends July 8th or while stocks last.
Quality value, that's our way. The real Passad's, we're here to stay. The Food King Passad's.
Welcome back. The Tobago House of Assembly has injected $2.25 million annually to cater to the day-to-day needs of the people. The Electoral District Fund was launched today with a purse of $150,000 available to each of the 15 districts. The initiative is being managed by a unit under the Division of Community Development and Social Protection. Assistant Secretary Akil Franklin says area representatives will play a more hands-on role in addressing concerns of their constituents.
I'm happy that we are able now to realize it. It is geared towards breaking down some of those bureaucratic processes that exist and really making that help where it's needed. In the smaller groups, the football teams, the small churches. In some cases, emergencies, we're thinking about disaster management as well.
Well, several district managers in attendance said they are keen on accessing the fund to be able to help more people. Program coordinator Akila Kiza noted guidelines are in place to ensure the program works in cohesion with other divisions.
Small projects, projects that we can assist with. Of course, we have other divisions that we will be collaborating with. We do not intend to duplicate or replace any other divisions. We assist where we can, or we refer where necessary, or we collaborate.
Well, Jassie's back, and Jassie, we understand you almost didn't make it to work today out of despair for your beloved Dutch team.
Yeah, I watched on in horror as many